Everybody, welcome back to the channel on this beautiful evening here during the week here. And I got something I want to talk to you about. It's about bugging back in. Hey everybody, welcome back to helvetiabushcraft. And tonight I wanted to talk to you about bug-in bags, or you know what? There's so many names for these bags. Anyway. Of course, we've heard of bug out bags, all right? And a lot of people are prepared. They've got themselves some really nice setups for bug out bags. And but what I'm finding is that a lot of people don't really understand what bugging out means, or what they're going to do past the door, okay? It's the same when it comes to bugging in bags, or people get back home bags is what they're calling them. I've been watching a number of videos, speaking to a number of people about this, and I'm a little bit astonished by what a lot I see. I just watched one kid, and I say kid because he had to be 20 years old. He had a bug-in bag, or a get-back-home bag. And this bag, it probably weighed around 20 kilos, I would say, worth of gear in it. And he doubled up on a lot of gear. He had very little of what I thought he probably should have more of, which was like food. He didn't even have, he did have like a canteen system on him, but it was like a Camelback. But it seemed like he was after every gimmick in the book. He even had a pistol on him and had a magazine set up for a 22 caliber AR, 22. Anyway, and he had all this in this bag, and he was ready for whatever. I'm going to suggest something a little bit different, okay? First of all, where are you bugging out of? Where are you bugging? You know, the concept here is to get back home, all right? So you're getting back home from where, all right? First of all, I couldn't imagine carrying this bag with me everywhere I went, just in case. This bag was crazy. Okay, it was probably well, it's not all. I saw another one. The guy had a bigger bag, and he didn't have one, he had two. And I'm wondering, where are these guys coming from trying to get back home with all that gear, okay? If I'm thinking about a get back home bag, I'm thinking, okay, you're at work, okay? Or you're at work, or you're visiting somebody, or you're somewhere. I assume not too far from home, because you wouldn't be trying to get back home necessarily with all that gear. You're definitely not going to fly with all that gear on. You're not going to cross too many borders with it either. But where are you coming from? So this means let's say you're coming from work. Okay, so you live, let's say you live across the city, or you live outside the city and you're going into the city to work every day. Maybe you're in an office building. Maybe you work as a clerk in a store. Maybe you're, maybe you're an insurance salesman, okay, or a handyman. All right, so you probably will have a car if you're living outside the city. Now, let's say you're in the city, then you're probably using public transport, or a bicycle, or a motorcycle, and quite often a car also. My question is, why you have all this gear in your office? Okay, I mean, especially that kind of gear. I mean, you're carrying a huge backpack. That's probably around, I would say his backpack had to be at least 35 to 40 liters to carry all the stuff he had in it. And I just don't understand that. I mean, is this realistic? Okay. And if it is, let's say you live 30 miles away. You live out in the countryside. It's only about a 30-minute drive, 45-minute drive maximum. And, you drive out. Well, if you're driving out, then this kit's going to be in your car. Okay. And if it's going to be in your car, I mean, that's understandable, okay, if you're going to have this stuff sort of stored up in your car. Now, I'm not going to store it all inside one bag. I'm going to have a little bit split up inside the car, because, and that's how I've done it, and I do have a bag, but I have a different mentality when it comes to this bag, though. Now, yeah, okay, if you're in a place where you can conceal carry, maybe you want to conceal carry. The problem I have with that is carrying a weapon all the time on me. That's just not something that I find enjoyable. So what I tend to do is try to think about things a little bit differently, okay? seems to me that when people who are armed, they and I agree with carrying a weapon. Believe me, I'm an armed person myself, but a lot of people tend to get into trouble when they're armed. Okay, instead of trying to get out of trouble, because the idea is to get back home bag. All right, this means you're trying to leave wherever you're at and get back home. I'm not going to carry. This guy had a freaking a drone in his backpack. I'm not going to carry a drone with me just because I want to see what the traffic is ahead, all this kind of stuff. I'm going to work my way gently and slowly and as fast as I possibly can do it. Remember, smooth is fast, not necessarily, not that you're just running, but I'm going to have routes set up that I'm going to try to take or whatever, okay? Like I said, let's say, okay, your car broke down. All right. And there is a situation, a storm or riots or earthquake or flooding or a volcano or tornadoes, whatever it could be. Okay. And you need to get out of there. Okay. Well, quite often, this stuff's coming ahead of time. If you've been watching the news or if you're keeping your eye open, you know that, okay, you know what, at the park over here, which I usually drive near, there's going to be a manifestation. There's going to be some local people coming together to complain about something or whatever it is. All right. So I'm going to avoid that area first of all. But let's say suddenly a storm hits. Okay, or earthquake. Earthquake is probably one of the best things that you can imagine, because a lot of other stuff, you can sort of prepare for in some aspect. You can sort of arrange your way around it to get out there early. I mean, what are you going to do? Wait till the end of the day to go home? No, you're going to get home as quick as you can. That means driving your car, have some alternate routes, this kind of stuff. Now, if you find yourself in a situation where you're sort of screwed, you can't get any further with your car, car breaks down, run out of gas because you're waiting in traffic so long, tires blown, or someone breaks your windows out, forces you out of your car, or the traffic's so bad you just can't get past it. So, well, okay, you park your car on the side of the road and then you hoof it, all right? Well, that's where my mentality comes in. And what I'm not going to carry is a bunch of extra stuff that I don't need. What I want to carry is what I do need, okay? And that goes back to the basis of everything that I carry in my backpack, whether I'm going for a hike in a pleasant day or weekend, or if I'm going for a trip, and that is I carry the 10 essentials. The 10 essentials for outdoor living or for any kind of living, okay? All this can fit into it. Now, what you can add to it, you can always add to it, but never take away. I'm going to have a first aid kit in there, a Bobo kit, maybe some kind of trauma kit. But if I have a belt on me, I don't need it. I have some aspects of trauma kit on me. If you know medical stuff, then you can get around all this kind of stuff. If you've learned pre-tourniquet, Israeli bandages medicine, then you know how to potentially stop a serious wound from somebody, bleed, So if you've learned all that, then you don't need a whole lot of the other Bobo stuff you need. But have yourself a pretty concise of Bobo kit on you, okay? Because you're probably the most thing you're going to run into is maybe some scratches, maybe from falling, a couple of blisters, whatever. Or you might need some medication on you that you normally would use or something like that. You have it on you, okay? Have yourself a good-sized water bottle, a liter of water, okay, that's ready to go. And get yourself, you don't necessarily need to have a water filter on you. You can filter the big things through a t-shirt, and then what you can do, or you can throw yourself some coffee, little coffee filters in there. And then what you can do is that you can throw some water purification tablets on there, okay? The idea, it's going to be clean enough, and taste is not going to be the most important part. Just trying to get home. The idea is you want to be hydrated, and you want to be able to hydrate yourself en route, especially if you find a water source. If it's clean, you drink all you have, you refill your stuff if you have time, and you keep going. Food, okay? You can carry yourself, some kind of, dried stuff. You don't need to have anything that you got to cook, okay, or heat up. Get yourself some Pop-Tarts, throw them in there. Get yourself some cookies, crackers, throw yourself in there some chocolate bars, something that's not going to melt necessarily, some granola type bars, peanuts, this kind of stuff, some dried fruit. This kind of stuff is going to do you over and think maybe 24 to 48 hours, okay? Believe me, everything, if this falls in threes, 3 seconds no air, 3 hours no water, or 3 days no water, and 3 weeks no food. you can make it, okay? But it also depends on your activity, all right? And your health, okay? So make sure you try to stay in some kind of a healthy form here. Then make sure you have some proper clothing in there, maybe an extra, have your rain jacket in there or a poncho. Make sure you got yourself maybe a little lightweight sweater or vest in there, and maybe a baseball cap or something like that, some sunglasses, because you run this, maybe a bandana, throw some gloves in there, and maybe even throw an extra pair of socks. You never know, if your feet were to get wet, you're going to be okay. You might get some blisters, but it makes it a little more comfortable if you throw yourself an extra pair of wool socks in there. Especially if you're dealing in wintertime, you might want to beef it up a little bit to carry a little bit warmer stuff. But you need the room, so you need a bag that you're going to have the room to do that. It's going to be comfortable to carry. And like I said, you don't want to overfill it, okay? You don't want to put too much stuff in there. You want to put the basics of what you need that's going to get you back home and concentrate on what you're going to need the most, which is going to be fluids and some food, okay? Make sure you got yourself a map of the area from where you live, a good topographic map to where you work, and maybe have your routes already set up on it, okay? Have yourself a compass on you, and have yourself a notebook with little notepads in it, a little small one with a pencil, okay? Put yourself a good little folding knife in there, or maybe even a fixed blade knife, something not too expensive though, but you can put in there and keep in there, or get yourself a good Leatherman tool that has a lot of what you might need or what you may come across already built into it, okay? And make sure you, like I said, we already touched on first aid. Let me think, what else are we missing from here? A fire kit. Maybe get yourself something, a little small fire kit that you can put together. It could be even just a cigarette lighter with some tape wrapped around it, some 100-mile-an-hour tape or some Gorilla tape wrapped on it, and then get yourself something and put some matches in it. That's going to cover those two areas. There you can get some little cotton swabs and make yourself a little small fire kit. Have it inside a little bag or something. Stick it inside your pack somewhere where it's going to be safe. Something I like to throw inside my pack also is maybe a poncho liner. The reason why I do that is because I always have something to lay on or to get under just in case. And if it's camouflage, you can also hide under it, okay? You can put it around you, you can wrap around you, and you can sort of hide in the bushes. That's if you need to hide out, okay? I just had it on my brain here, but get yourself a headlamp. A lot of these hand torches, they're okay. But you can get yourself a really good pencil headlamp that's 350 lumens with some spare batteries. Tape them around the band if you need to, or put them inside there with your little possibles bags of stuff that you might need, like your fire kit, and you keep also your headband and your batteries in there, your head torch in there, and a few other little small things that you might want to keep together there, and you keep all that in there, because you don't need a combat flashlight that's a 800 lumens, because you're trying to get home here. You're not trying to go into a situation, okay? Do you need a gun? Maybe so, okay? Maybe you carry yourself a lightweight 9mm pistol with some extra mags. Maybe you carry that in there. It's in there, and if you need it, you put it on you, and you have it, okay? I'm not going to carry mine as I get home, because I'm not going to carry a gun every day to work. I'm not where I can do that either. So I have to make do what I'm having. And like I said, I'm trying to get out of the situation. This kid also had night vision goggles in there. I'm not going to carry night vision goggles. I'm not going to spend $5,000, $7,000 on a pair of PVS 14s or however much they cost so I can look cool, okay? I'm not putting any extra body armor in there and this kind of stuff. I'm trying to do this as light as possible so I can travel further, travel quicker, travel smoother, okay? When you're huffing and puffing because you run around with 25 kilos on your back of stuff that you may or may not use, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be sitting there setting up a freaking drone so I can look over a hill to see if it's safe. I'm trying to get out of a bad place and go into a good place. So I'm going to keep moving. I'm going to use the terrain to my best knowledge. I've got a map with me. I've got a compass. And I'm going to do it like that. So the 10 essentials I'm going to have in my bag. Maybe add a few little things. Depends on the season. Terrain dictates. But I'm not going to carry a bunch of crazy stuff. And I suggest that you do what you want to, but be smart about it. Okay? Remember, what's the idea? A get-home bag, not a get-to-war bag. Okay? That's a completely different ballgame. All right? This kid was decked out to go to war. This other guy, he had... at least I would say 3 meters of climbing rope on the outside of his backpack, okay? Where in the hell are you going, okay? You're going to be working your... I mean, I just don't understand what people are thinking when they think of all this. So they're thinking, what, every scenario possible? Learn how to, learn some different skills, okay? I don't suggest you be climbing up and down buildings with a 5 meter piece of rope, okay? Yeah. Also in this kit, add yourself a little bit of paracord if you want to, because you never know what comes up. You might need something. But yeah, you don't need to be, this kid had flex cuffs, I mean, who in the hell is he going to flex cuff? That's not what this is about. Remember what it's about. The same, and it's coming up sooner rather than you can imagine, a bug out bag. And why do you need a bug out bag? And where are you going to bug out to? And how are you going to get there? And if you got a bug out bag with 3 days of food in it and you need to bug out for 5 days or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and you plan on going to a spot in the woods you have there, how are you going to survive? You're going to be hunting? Okay, you and everybody else? Or are you going to be, how are you going to do this? Are you going to carry that much kit? Okay, so if you're going to bug out from a place, make sure that you can bug out from there. Sometimes, if you can, it's good just to hide out somewhere. Okay, make sure another thing that's good to have on you, maybe the extra battery charger, a brick that's already charged up, maybe with a solar panel, and you can maybe add to it. So if you need to recharge your telephone, turn off all the notifications on it. Okay, and just every once in a while, check it out. Send messages to whomever you are. If it's a situation where the satellites are down, there's no more communication, that's useless anyway. Okay. And so make sure you have a hard copy of a map, like I said, encompass on you, and the things like this you need. Carry those 10 essentials. You can add a few things, you can tweak it a little bit, but you need to stay as light as possible, okay? If you're going to carry anything extra, make sure it's food and water, okay? And maybe some insulation. But you don't need the rest of that mess. Anyway. I hope, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, because I am interested in hell to find out what everybody else thinks about this, okay? And, yeah, have a look all around for people, for some of these videos, and have a look at them and think about it first, I felt so uncomfortable watching these videos and listening to these people with their reasons why. I think that most of them they're in the gear so much that they think they need to have all this stuff. And most of it is technology. And I'm sorry, but in a real situation, there might not be any technology except what you have right here. And so learn first aid, learn how to read a map, learn how to use a compass, learn how to filter your water without a filter, okay? Learn some skills, all right? And quit relying so much on your telephone, on Googling stuff, on GPSs, and night vision goggles and all this kind of stuff. Learn the skills you need. Our forefathers learned these skills and they managed really damn well. Okay? You need to learn to do the same thing. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. A little bit astonished here, by the way. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel, Helvetia Bushcraft. And please have a look at our website, helvetiabushcraft.ch, and look at my other channel, Mike Box. All right? And leave a comment down below, share our channel, and we look forward to hearing from you again soon. I hope you all have a good one. Take care and have a good night. Goodbye.